श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं परमालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं करुणालयं. The name of Sri Shankaracharya is a unique one in the history of India and history of thought. He was the finest blossom of Indian culture. He summed up in himself the meeting place of realism and idealism in a transcendentalism which included the realism and idealism and transcended both. He combined in himself the attributes of a poet, a logician, a mystic, a reformer, as well as being the propounder of the monistic system of philosophy. He lived at a period of history when India had found itself at crossroads. Countless faiths, customs, and religious groups had erupted and had vitiated the atmosphere of this great land. Buddhism was in its decadence. Hinduism was beginning to reassert itself, but there was no leadership. The country was full of conflicting views. A spiritual confusion was reigning supreme, and the people were perplexed. The society, which was devoid of any proper guidance, was looking forward to the arrival of a personality who could offer them a way out. It was at this time that Shankara was born in Kolati, in a Nambudri Brahmin family, as the son of Shivaguru and Aryamba. Shankara, in a very short span of life, brought about a miraculous transformation in the society and thought. He cleared the vitiated atmosphere and re-established the Vedic religion by expounding the philosophy of Advaita or non-dualism. To do this, he wrote the commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras, and principal Upanishads, what we call the Prasthanatraya. He also wrote many appealing devotional poems in order to counteract the influence of the agnostic faiths and to revive the Vedic religion and spread enlightenment. Shankara's works are characterized by extreme simplicity and beauty of expression. The style is Prasanna Gambhira. As Vachaspati Mishra calls it later, Bhashyam Prasanna Gambhiram. Shankara's works can be classified into three categories: commentaries, bhashyas; devotional poems, stotras; treatises, prakaranas. In all these, Shankara tries to cleanse the mind of man, reveal to him the form of truth, and lead him on to the attainment of the Supreme. Look at the longing of a bhakta who says to Lord, "O Lord, no doubt you and I are one, just as the ocean and its wave. The ocean may claim the wave as its own, but can a wave say that the ocean belongs to it? Satyapi bhedapagame natha tavaham na mamakeenastvam samudro hitarangaha kvachana samudro natarangaha." Whether it be commentaries or stotras or prakarana granthas, Shankara establishes the absolute monism through them. What Shankara preached is known as Advaita. It would be correct to describe Shankara's Advaita not as monism but as non-dualism. The philosophy Shankara gave is a contribution of permanent significance in history of human nature, human culture. The philosophy as propounded by Shankara is so clear and simple and bold that it can be briefly presented and summed up in a statement as Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. 1. Brahman is the reality. 2. The universe is an illusion. 3. The soul is Brahman. The Jiva and the Brahman are identical with each other. It is not only bold but also very subtle and profound that volumes cannot exhaust its implications and ramifications. According to Shankara, the world exists in relation to the mind. Consciousness is self-luminous. The self is Brahman, who is the absolute. He is Sat, Chit and Ananda, existence, consciousness and bliss. This is the Swarupa or the nature of Brahman. Shankara speaks of the Jagan Mithyatva, the illusory nature of the universe. When he does so, He regards the existing diversity as being illusion. One should grasp correctly the significance of his so describing. His conception of the real Sat is of eternal being. Brahman is the sole reality of this type. Similarly, his conception of unreal, Asat, is that of absolute nothing. The world is in all its variety, neither Sat nor Asat. It is not real in the sense that it is not eternal, nor is it unreal, for it clearly appears to us. It is not like Shasha Vishana, hare's horn, or Vandhyaputra, son of a barren woman. The world is described in Advaita as other than the real and unreal, Sadasadvilakshana, as an illusory appearance. The things of the world, though not ultimately real, are yet of a certain order of reality. They are appearances depending for their being on some higher reality. Once the higher perception is attained, the lower experience becomes irrelevant and illusory. The nama with which we label a thing is conventional. So also the rupa. The only true reality is that which underlies the conventional particularity of common things. That is the supreme, and that is Brahman. Brahman appears both as the objective universe and as the individual subject. The former is the illusory manifestation of Brahman, while the latter is Brahman itself. In his famous introduction to the Sutra Bhashya, Sri Shankaracharya propounds his theory of Adhyasa, which is the cornerstone of his philosophy. Adhyasa means merely transference of the attributes of one object to another object. We generally attribute to the Atman, by immemorial avidya, the qualities of the world, and live in a state of limitation and pain. We can get over this defect and realize that the soul is eternal and infinite, Satchidananda, Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma, by true knowledge, Vidya. According to Shankara, the reality of the world is only Vyavaharika Satya, pragmatic and not Paramarthika, absolute. Where the real nature of the Atman is realized, the world vanishes for a man of such realization. The world has a pragmatic and finite reality, and this is possible because of the substratum of the absolute and infinite Atman. The finite and changing world, with its ceaseless modifications of name and form, nama and rupa, implies a changeless, eternal and infinite Atman. This idea is beautifully described by Shelley in a poem of his when he says, "The one remains, the many change and pass, heaven's light forever shines, earth's shadows fly, life like a doom of many-colored glass stains the white radiance of eternity." Shankara gave an honored place for Nishkama Karma and Bhakti in his system. He said that Bhakti is a great sadhana, Advaitic realization, for Advaitic realization. So also Karma. The Acharya stood up for Nishkama Karma as the precursor of Bhakti, and for Bhakti as the precursor of Jnana, which is the sole means for Mukti or self-realization. Shankara pointed out a fourfold path for the realization of the Supreme. For him, philosophy was not an intellectual pursuit, but a dedicated life. In his exposition of the Sadhana Chatushtaya, or means of liberation, he stands up for lofty morality, perfect purity, universal love, and passionate longing for God. He insists that one should have viveka, discriminating power between the eternal and the non-eternal. This demands of the aspirant the power of thought, which helps him to distinguish between the unchanging reality and the changing world. Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. The renunciation of the enjoyment of the reward in this as well as the other world is also required. This is Vairagya. Iha Amutra Phala Bhoga Viragaha. The seeker should develop an austere detachment, Shama Damadi Sampatu, which would serve as a moral preparation for the ultimate realization. Finally, he should have the urge to attain liberation, Mumukshatva, the resolute will to shed human limitations and to obtain mukti. The goal of life, according to Shankara, is the self-realization, Atma Sakshatkara. He says that by purity of ethical life and meditation and devotion, one attains the cosmic consciousness. When he could realize the eternal and infinite consciousness and bliss of the Atman. When a person is in this stage, it is not the question of his knowing the Supreme Brahman, but being Brahman himself. This is the stage of a Jivan Mukta. He is in life, but yet lifted out of it. Shankaracharya gave to the world a marvelous philosophy. He affirms the one and eternal, which is infinite reality, Akhanda Satchidananda. His doctrine is at once the reconciliation, the summation, and the culmination of all the faiths and philosophies of the world. His doctrine of avidya or maya is the meeting point of realism and idealism. He expounds that the true nature of the self is as being above and beyond the Panchakoshas and as being pure, Satchidananda, and with Brahman. Lifting up karma and bhakti, the great Acharya affirmed that jnana is the only path which could lead us to nectar ocean of God realization. He was a versatile personality, mastery over the Vedas at 8, perfect knowledge of all the Shastras at 12, preparation of bhashyas and countrywide tours at 16, and throwing off the mortal coils at 32 is verily astounding. Ashtavarshe Chaturvedi, Dvadashe Sarvashastravit, Shodashe Kritavan Bhashyam, Dvatrimshe Munirabhyagat. He was indeed a genius, a divine incarnation who launched a fresh era in the history of India and history of thought, providing humanity in its entirety a way out of trials and tribulations characteristic of human life. Centuries may come and go, but his beacon light shines as bright as ever.
That was a talk by Sri M.P.L. Shastri on Shankara's philosophy, a talk in connection with Shankara Jayanti, broadcast from All India Radio Bangalore and Bhadravati.